So you can see we're talking about reducing and managing health, anxiety and stress. And I'm particularly talking to you today about the stress related to COVID-19, because that's causing so many of us a lot of stress. Okay, so we're going to look at today, what is stress? How are stress and anxiety connected? What is health anxiety particularly? What things cause health anxiety or make it worse? How can we reduce and manage our health anxiety and therefore our stress? And some other ways to reduce and manage our stress, especially the stress around COVID-19. And this will include some natural remedies. And then we'll have our question and answer session. All right. The thing to remember, we're going to be talking about health in its entirety. So the human body is a one whole system. And although we will focus on the mental health aspects of it and our minds, but we'll also look at the physical health, because the body and the mind are connected. So here's an idea for making good use of this presentation. There's a lot of information that you're going to be hearing, so please take a note particularly of what applies to you. So you'll see things as you're going through regarding health, anxiety, behavior, and thoughts and so on. So make a note of what applies to you. And after that, so in other words, what signs are you showing of health anxiety? And then on the other side, look at the remedies for those signs that you're showing or that your loved ones are showing, all right? Because there will be some remedies and some solutions to those. So stress is a response to a threat in a situation. There is good stress, so I'll give that caveat now. If you're about to do a big performance, if you're about to have an interview or an exam, you will feel a little bit of stress. And that is actually quite good, because it enables you to do what? Perform really well. So a little bit of stress is fine. When it becomes a problem is when it goes on for a very long time and you feel as if you just can't cope. It becomes overwhelming. And then it stops you functioning very well. In addition to that, you tend to have negative thoughts, over worrying, and you're expecting the worst. Okay, so we can react to stress in 3 areas. You've got the emotional area, where you may be anxious, which is what we're going to talk about today, irritable, have mood swings, feel helpless, and so on, frustrated. Then you have the behavioral aspect, where you may become aggressive, or your sleep is disturbed, you just can't sleep very well. You start comfort eating and gaining those pounds. I think a few of us can say, during the first lockdown, we gained a few pounds. And then you have check-in rituals. What do I mean by that? Checking your health, how you're doing. What does my urine look like? Oh, I feel a bit hot. Does that mean I'm getting a fever? Just constantly over-checking your body. And then physiological. Sweaty palms, heart palpitations, headaches. All of these are signs that you are quite stressed. Now, if you notice, one of the emotional responses is anxiety. And let's see what we say in the next slide about anxiety. So, anxiety is a feeling of unease. You're just uncomfortable. It's such as worry or fear, and it can be mild, but it can be severe. It actually is caused by stress. So anxiety and stress are related. Stress is the starter, and anxiety is a reaction to the stress. So it's a worry or a fear, and it's about anything. I mean, you have people who are anxious about flying or public speaking or anything really. So today we're looking specifically, as I've said, at health anxiety. And because they're both connected, when we talk about one and relieving one, we are actually talking about relieving the other. So you can manage your health anxiety or all of the strategies you hear today. You will naturally reduce and manage your stress. And so we can smile about that. So here's a picture just showing some poor lady, actually, a poor lady who's so anxious about her health. Okay, let's look at health anxiety. When you have normal health concerns, that's okay, because you have to be human, it's natural. If you have a symptom and you think, you know what, I'm a bit concerned about this, I need to go and see my doctor, that's fine, because it's natural to be worried about a symptom or symptoms, and especially if they're connected to a known disorder or illness. So that's basically fair enough, because then you need to go check out with the doctor. However, health anxiety is where there is, as we can see on this screen, excessive worrying, basically all day, every day. It's out of proportion. You get a mild headache and, oh, I might have a brain tumor. It's persistent. It continues over a long period of time, weeks, months. You start doing unhelpful behaviors like non-stop TV watching. So basically, you're not getting enough rest, you're not sleeping, you're not exercising, and you're overeating, as we've mentioned before. And then you may be distressed, often crying, feeling really sad, and just scared all the time. And basically, the last but not least is you're not functioning normally on a daily basis. So when people are really, really anxious, they can't function. They're not washing themselves, maybe, not keeping up their hygiene and so on. And they're not cooking and keeping the house. So, or they're drinking excessive amounts of alcohol or other drugs, even taking other drugs. So if you see any of these signs in you or a loved one, it's an indication that you're suffering, possibly suffering or likely to be suffering from health anxiety. So it's a vicious cycle. So let's look at number one, which are the thoughts. And the reason why it's a cycle is because one leads to the other, and then they all lead to each other. So you really do have to deal with all of them. But I would say your thoughts are the most powerful. And then if you can do something physical, because of all the negative chemicals that are raised in your body or created in your body, then you can dissipate them, it will help. Because stress in itself can create some unhelpful hormones, but those hormones are for a purpose. Usually, as many of us have heard, it's about fight or flight. You either get ready to run for your life or you get ready to fight for your life. And so you only need those hormones for that moment. But if they drag on for weeks and months, the body thinks, what am I going to do with all of these? You gain weight and you can actually get sick, literally, just from stress alone. So let's look at thoughts. Type of negative thoughts are not helpful. I'm going to get COVID-19 and I'll be really sick and I might die. Or then I might make my family sick, very sick, and they might die. If you think that kind of thought, you get worried, an increasing worry, and then anxiety. Then you may have a physical response to that. Headaches, sweaty, your chest might feel tight. You may have difficulty breathing. When you have those, you might think, oh, that means I'm ill. And then the cycle continues. So really what to do today is teach strategies on what I'm doing to break this cycle. So these are the sorts of things that can make health anxiety worse. So overanalyzing every single bodily symptom that you have. A big one is constantly watching or listening to the news. I'll be honest with you, with the first lockdown in April in the UK, I watched a few and then I thought, do you know what? This is getting too much. So negative, I'm not listening anymore. So only now and again, I would tap in maybe once a week or so, but I thought, no, this isn't good for my mental health, I'm not listening. So that's, that constantly watching or listening to the news can literally worsen your anxiety. Lack of predictivity. It's a new word for me, but I've heard it somewhere and I thought I'd share. Basically, when things are literally unpredictable, your future's not certain. And I know that a lot of young people, especially who are studying at university and about their lives and their careers, that it's really unsettling for them. And also people who have got, mortgages to pay and so on. It's just unsettling generally for everybody. And I hate to say it, but it's true that the suicide rate has gone up because of this whole thing with the COVID-19. Loss of connectivity is about not connecting with people as you normally would. And so it doesn't help. It really doesn't help with health anxiety. And then checking, we've noticed that like checking your body and so on, we've said that over-analysis, I think, is connected to the checking behaviors, but over-analyzing anything is not helpful. And then excessive reassurance seeking. There's nothing wrong with seeking reassurance from your family or loved ones. Do you think I look all right? But then if it's excessive, it means it's just too much. Too frequently and too often. Okay, so stop. I'm going to allow you to make some notes now from what I've just said. Do you or someone close to you seem to be experiencing health anxiety? Just make a quick note. and then we'll go on to some remedies and strategies. So we're going to look at how to overcome health anxiety. There's a first aid toolbox for health anxiety. In this toolbox, these are the things that are there, and I'm going to, after this, go into detail on each area. Right? And so you can make a note or even take screenshots, to be honest, of anything that you think is particularly useful for you and your loved ones and friends. The first one, you need to reduce your symptom checking. That is just so unhelpful. That's the first thing. So contain, reduce it down, your symptom checking. Next is to manage excessive worrying. Number 3, deal with uncertainty. Number 4, have some form of predictability in your life. You know what's coming up next in some area of your life. So it's maintaining a routine. 5, mobility, get some regular exercise. 6, maximize your sleep. 7, eat healthily and cut out mood altering substances. And by that, I mean things like alcohol, cigarettes, caffeine, and illicit drugs, such as smoking, marijuana, or weed, as we call it. And then increase your relaxation. So let's look at number 1, reduce your excessive symptom checking, if that's something that you do. So first of all, you've got to know whether you're doing that, right? So intentionally notice how often you check your body for signs of ill health, or how often you're asking your loved ones or people around you for reassurance about your health. All right, so that's the first thing to do. Now, if you notice you're doing that, notice how often you look at, the other thing is to notice how often you look at health information to double check against how you're feeling. So one, you're noticing your own body, your urine, your eyes, whatever, all of that sort of thing. But then you might be double checking information online just to see if anything matches what you're feeling. Too much though. And then what you do is gradually reduce how often you do these checks over. If you're doing it every day, try to contain it to just one part of the day, not all day, every day, just one part of the day. Or use a fact app check so that you can check reality as opposed to just your fears or your feelings. And then the government has provided in the UK, I don't know what it's like elsewhere, but in the UK, there's this COVID-19 symptom tracker. And you can also look at that just to get some facts about what's going on with you, as opposed to just being scared. Managing excessive worry. Now, rather than just get rid of worry completely, that's not possible. We're all human. We're all going to worry at some point, okay? But what you can do is have a specific time to worry. So you can say to yourself, right, every day I'm going to allow myself one specific hour in that day, say from 2 o'clock or maybe first thing in the morning, and I'm just going to worry as much as I like for that 1 hour. Then after that, you're not allowed to. All right, so after that, you do your best to turn your mind away from any worry that you have, and you just get on with other activities. And the other thing you can do is challenge your thinking. Later on, you're going to see I've got a lovely slide which gives the sorts of worry thoughts, especially around COVID, and the alternative, more helpful thoughts you can have around COVID-19. So that's coming up near the end. So look at this table. Health worries, it's a health worry thought on one side, and the other side is balance. No one's saying to be pie in the sky, oh, I'll never get ill, I'll be perfectly fine. No, that's unrealistic. But what you want to be is balanced in your thinking. So I'm worried about these headaches. The balanced thought is, all right, I've got the headaches, yeah, I have, but they can often be a sign of stress. So there's nothing to worry about. Now, you have to be realistic and sensible. If things are getting out of hand, you may need to go contact with your doctor or your GP, check it out sensibly. But initially, just note whether you're just over worrying, okay? And then, as said before, to reduce excessive worrying, limit the time watching the news, especially if it's, or have a time when you will watch news and don't watch it at any other time. So some of us do need to keep on top of the news, but don't have it on for 24 hours. Just say, all right, I'll watch the 10 o'clock news, the 7 o'clock news, the 6 o'clock news, and that's it for me for the day. How to deal with uncertainty. There's lots of things you can do to deal with uncertainty, but I'm going to tell you about the key things. So first of all, look at what can you control. What can you control in your life? And you'll be surprised. It'll be really simple. Like, control the time you wake up in the morning. I can control that. Control the time you have lunch. I can control that. So think of what you can control in your life I can say, I'm going to watch my favorite program at a certain time, whatever. Have your routine. So you have things that you can control in your life. You can also do something which benefits you, your family and or your community. Do something that's really important to you. And I hate to be corny, but of course that's what's happening with me now. I'm doing something that's really important to me, actually. I'm sharing what I found out that can benefit other people to deal with this health anxiety and this stress, because I think it's really important. And I'd like to do my part. The other thing you can do is be aware of and accept your difficult feelings. Don't be an ostrich. Do not bury your head in the sand. If you're feeling fear, say, all right, I'm scared. All right, I'm scared. Feel guilt for any reason, don't know why you should, but you may do, accept it. Loneliness, frustration, confusion, whatever negative emotion you are feeling, accept it. Yeah, that's how I feel. And then be kind to yourself. And I'm going to ask you about that in a second. Now, the other thing, to deal with uncertainty, go to where there's useful information. So there are websites with useful information. If you're not very good at using the internet, don't worry. There are people, I'm sure, everybody has someone who they could contact who could help them do some research. And then, of course, let's follow the rules. Disinfect our hands regularly and keep social distance as appropriate. So we're going to stay safe as well to help reduce the uncertainty of, oh, I might catch it, I might not. Just do all the things you need to do to stay safe. Now, we talked about, I just said, be kind to yourself. So let's stop and think, each of you, and write on your piece of paper 3 simple ways that you can be kind to yourself. Simple little ways to be kind to yourself. You can write yourself a love letter. I love myself because da, 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 da. You can keep a daily gratitude journal. Let me tell you something. It's well known in research that if you are grateful, it is one of the best ways to be happy. Keep your daily gratitude journal and you can look back, or if anything special happens in your life, you can look back. Listen or dance to your favorite music. So these are little ways to be kind to yourself. You can see the others. Buy a little gift, take a short nap, cook your favorite meal or order it in. And hobbies. All right, so there's things you can do to make yourself happy. So the main thing as well is try to do at least one thing that makes you happy every day. And that will really, really help. No matter how simple, it might not be complicated, you know, you're inside. In the UK, people are on lockdown. So, but just some small thing that makes you happy, but do that every day, at least one thing. Maintaining a routine. So you're going to keep busy with activities, but have a structure to your day. So set times for things such as your meals. I'm going to have breakfast at 10, whatever time, 8, whatever time suits you, but we know it's healthy to have it earlier, really. And then a set time for other things. So you could create a schedule for your everyday things like laundry day. And then what about the future, short or long term? Maybe look forward to an online concert at the end of the year. Or some people, I know some friends who have been having online family get-togethers on Zoom, say every whatever day. So say every Monday, the family meets up on Zoom. We've had some, not that regularly, but we've had some too in my family. So all of that sort of thing is something to look forward to. Maintaining a routine can include creating a calendar of your connections, people you know who you want to phone at whatever time, whatever day, or activities you want to do. You don't have to be exact with times. You could just do this in the afternoon, I'm going to do this. Don't make it hard for yourself or, you know, just too rigid. Be creative, make things enjoyable, and keep the same times for things you used to do. So by that, I mean, if you used to wake up at 7 o'clock for work, but at the moment you're inside, can't go out, still wake up at 7 o'clock. Obviously, you may not be going to work, but still wake up at 7 o'clock to keep life as normal as possible. So improving exercise and being creative with it. So try to get at least 30 minutes daily exercise. I've told you about my dancing around. Walking is a good form. Try to do some kind of weight at least twice a week. Even if it's your body, just push-ups against the wall on the floor, or bottles, fill them with water and do this if you don't have actual weights. And I've got some there. I personally like to watch some YouTube videos just to vary things. So there's, I've forgotten the name, Saunders, I'm not sure, but she does a walking, come walk with me. And you can walk for a mile just in your room, you know, so YouTube's pretty good. And as I've mentioned, dancing and anything else that you like to do, cycling, anything. So maximizing sleep. this table, as you can see, is divided into pre-bedtime and bedroom environment. So pre-bedtime activities and the bedroom environment. And it might be helpful to have a warm drink like chamomile tea, that's well-known relaxer. Avoid overstimulation. I must confess, confession is good for the soul. I am terrible with looking at the phone before going to bed, terrible. And it's a habit I'm trying to stop. But that overstimulation on your eyes is really not good. It does interfere with the quality of your sleep and how quickly you can get to sleep. So that's really not a good thing. Or working really hard up to when you go to sleep. Or even watching certain active TV shows. You just want to stop the flickering screens, to be really honest with you, at least an hour or so before going to bed. And so avoid working in your bedroom so that you don't associate your bedroom with work. And another thing is the use of essential oils. Lavender essential oil is a well-known calmer and relaxant. And dropping a couple of drops on your pillowcase, good to go. I do want to add another thing about lavender. You can actually use it on your pulse points and on your neck throughout the day if you want to relax, but don't use it neat. Anyone who knows about essential oils will know you've got to use a carrier oil. And from what I understand, it's 1 teaspoon of the carrier oil, like coconut oil, olive oil, or jojoba oil, Jojoba, and 1 drop of essential. So it's 1 teaspoon of the carrier oil to 1 drop of the essential oil. So if you want to stay calm throughout the day and you want to use lavender essential oil, dilute it in that way, and then you can touch your neck and your pulse points, wrists, and so on. Your bedroom environment needs to be comfortable, not a mattress that sags in the middle at the edges. Reduce your artificial light in your room. Use a pillow that keeps your head and neck in a neutral position. I may have some medical people on this chat, so neutral position is where everything, your spine is in line. You don't say lie on your back and then your hips twisted, and then sometimes you wake up with a crick neck, and that's because things have been not in line. So everything is in one direction, even if you're on your side. Have your room at a comfortable temperature, keep the room quiet, and have a designated room to sleep. Okay, there's a little bit more about maximizing sleep. Try to get enough sleep so you feel refreshed, but not longer than that. And some of us are different, so I'll again share a little bit about me. I do tend to go to bed late, not a good thing. Again, confession is good for the soul. But what that means is I can't wake up that well, and I don't like to rush when I'm waking up. Whereas my other half now, he's an early bird and an early nighter. The two go together. As soon as his eyes are open, boom, he's off, whizzing around. And I'm like, oh, slow down, slow down. So for me, I need to wake up gradually, and then I open my eyes and all is well with the world. So you do what's right for you. You sleep until you feel refreshed and comfortable to get up. Go to bed and wake up more or less at the same time each day if you can help it, because the body likes routine. Sleep, if you're sleeping more than 8 to 9 hours, gradually reduce that, because actually too much sleep is not good. And if you can't fall asleep, try reading a book or doing something else relaxing, like listening to soothing music and so on. I actually love the sea and the sound of water, so some people like that. And the Bible has encouraging psalms, such as we all know or have heard of, hopefully, Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. And comforting well in these times. So as I mentioned, it's not about the mind, we need to look after our bodies. And when we look after our bodies, we are also looking after our minds. So we need to eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, and if possible, organic. We can't all do organic, so whatever you can do is better than nothing. Basically, reduce the processed food. Packages, anything in a package, try to reduce it. And anything not in its natural state. Rice is in its natural state, potato is in its natural state. But when you buy a packet of something that's been created in a factory, it's not ideal, simply because there are chemicals in there to preserve them, etc. The other thing I'd like to mention is to take nutritional supplements and or vitamins. Guess why? Generally speaking, the soil in this day and age is depleted of nutrients. So even though we may eat a lot of fresh fruit and veg, it may not quite be enough. So if you're a vegan, especially, you do vitamin B12. If there's a deficiency, and by the way, the reason for that is because you do not get it in plants. B12, vitamin B12, you cannot get it in plants. And if you do have a deficiency, you may know because you may be tired, weak, constipated, have a loss of appetite, may have weight loss, and anemia, and also you may have some nerve problems, tingling and numbness in your hands and feet. That is a sign, if you're a vegan especially, that you lack B12. and you need to get some supplements. This has been all over the news in England and probably all over the world, but we all need vitamin D3 no matter who we are, especially in the winter months if you're in a country that's not got much sun. And without D3, your mental health suffers, but your physical health suffers as well. We need it for so many things, different bodily functions. So it definitely enhances immunity as well. And then vitamin B6, that helps with your mood and helps you to have a good mood. And you can see the types of foods that vitamin B6 are found in: bananas, sweet potatoes, wheat germ, and so on. Last but not least, and I know many people suffer with this one, and I have tried my best to keep up, but sometimes I forget. Remember to drink enough water. Now, we need it for every function again, as I said, including the brain. The brain is majority water. So we need to keep our minds healthy, so we need enough water. Now, there are lots of ways that people have spoken about gauging how much water you should drink. So I've just pulled all of them there, and you can decide which one you want. So there's drinking at least 2.5 litres a day, and some would say more, up to 3 litres, the 8 glasses of water. Then there is drinking enough to maintain a clear looking, light coloured urine. That's another one I've heard. And in a way that's easier if you can't check on a regular basis. Just keep drinking and make sure your urine is not dark. And then the other one is drinking half your weight in pounds in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, and I operate in stones, but there are 14 pounds in every stone, so you could work it out what your pounds are based on your weight in stones. And then half that, and that's the amount of ounces of water that you should be drinking daily. So that's another way of working out how much you should drink. And I have friends in the health business, and they would say like, drink a cup per hour of water every day. If you think, right, every hour I'm just going to have a cup of water, then you're not trying to drink it in one go, because that's not helpful, to be honest. You need to drink it gradually throughout the day. So that's one way. Then get some fresh air and sunlight. Even if you're cooped in, you may be able to just step out on your front door, back door, try to get some sunlight and fresh air, at least 30 minutes a day, if possible. And last but not least, trust in God or a higher power. If you don't believe in God, I know some of us may not, but just trust that there is a higher power out there that's helping us and will see us through. But as a Christian, of course, I will say God. So the last thing to do to help with your health anxiety is to make time for regular relaxation. So regular is whatever that means to you, but I would say at least once a week. But really, you're cooped up, let's do once a day minimum. Try to have some regular exercise. Now, I'm going to do some practicing with you, and we are going to practice a breathing exercise called 7-11. And I do know that this does reduce anxiety. If you're feeling anxious, do this. This is one of the things you can do. So what 7-11 means, for a quick count of 7, you breathe in through your nose. So I'm just going to show you. I can't breathe and talk though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So and then breathe out through your mouth for a quick count of 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. Now, as you breathe in, say in your mind, calm, C-A-L-M, calm in. As you breathe out, say worry out. So you're trying to tell yourself to bring in the calm and throw out the worry. So let's do this. I'm going to count down from 3 and then keep counting for you. In through the nose, 7, out through the mouth, 11. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fantastic. I hope you're feeling a little bit calmer, even though I was talking so much, but you won't have me talking when you're doing it by yourself. The main point is that the breath out is longer than the breath in. And this just relaxes your body and it helps to reduce tension and anxiety. Here is another thing you can do to relax. And this is without going anywhere at all. These are the things you can do right where you are in your home. You can sit or lie quietly, close your eyes, and imagine your favorite relaxing place. Now I'm going to give you close your eyes because you're in your own private space, and I'm going to just talk you through something really quickly. It's not going to be as long as usual, but imagine your favorite relaxing place. I'm going to share mine. Mine is floating in the sea, I have to say it. With your eyes closed, in your favorite place, could be walking in the green, in the woods, anything, cycling, whatever, in the bath. What colors can you see? Look at all the different colors. They're so beautiful, they're bright. Focusing on one in particular. Now, what can you hear? Can you hear any birds? Can you hear the humming of, I don't know, a motor somewhere? What can you hear? Can you hear the waves of the sea lapping? What can you hear? Your favorite songs? Can you touch anything there? See what you can touch. Imagine yourself touching something in your favorite place. And then what can you smell? Can you smell sea salt? Can you smell your favorite food? What can you smell? Just look around you and really enjoy being there. It's great, isn't it? So when you're ready, open your eyes. What you'll find, if you practice to do this, even without lying down or anything, standing up, doing something, if you were able to go out public transport, you'll find that you can get yourself really relaxed in a split second if you practice this. Imagining yourself in your favorite relaxing place. So the other two we've got here, pamper bath, I've mentioned that before, and also do activities you enjoyed as a child if you're an adult. It's not just restricted to children, colouring in and puzzles. Why not? If you enjoy them, do them. And here's another one. So we've been sitting down, let's stand up. I mean, I'm not going to stand up because I'm on the screen, okay? But no, I'm really unhappy. If you smile, even if you're pretending, you will feel a lot better. So let's just have a stretch. Stand up, please. And smile. There you go. And you will feel a lot better. So just practice will make you feel a lot better. So what I'd like you to do is think of some, if you're a Christian, think of some, or if you're not a Christian, you may have heard of some encouraging Bible texts. Write those down. And then what I will do is share some that I found to be really encouraging, because we're now going to move on to some other ways to encourage you and help you to not worry too much about these uncertain times that we are in. All right, I'll give you about 30 seconds and then I'm going to move on. So just think of your text that you know. Most people, it just comes to mind. So here we are, here are some. And you might want to screenshot this or write some down. Here are some texts. I'll read them out so that you can write them down as I'm reading and give you some time. So 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13, it says God will make a way of escape. It's not just that, but that's the general gist of it. There's Joel 2 verse 25, God will restore what the locusts have taken. In other words, if you have had any losses in your life, because the world isn't perfect, no matter, even if you're a Christian, bad things happen to anybody, to truth be told. But you know what? Trust God to restore to you in some way what has been taken from you. You can claim that promise. Matthew 21:22, verse 22, that is, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer if you believe. That's a nice promise. I love this one. Psalm 34, verse 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about those that fear him and delivereth them. I know it's old English, but basically God's angels will come around you if you trust in God, and they'll help you and save you. Then there's Psalm 34 verse 17. The righteous cry out and the Lord heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles. So if you're in trouble, you cry out to God and he will hear and answer. You may not get the answer you want straight away or even in the way you're expecting, but he will be answering. That's a trust. And then Isaiah 41 verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Okay, so while we're on this screen, the next one we're going to do is think about some encouraging songs or choruses. So as Christians, we do have some lovely hymns and choruses that we sing. And I won't forget the non-Christians because you'll have nice songs that you like as well. So we will look at some of those and talk about those too. So whatever you find encouraging, song-wise or otherwise, write it down and I'll show you some that I know of as well. I'll give you about 30 seconds. Okay, I'm moving on now. So here are some. A Shelter in the Time of Storm. That's a hymn book. That's a hymn. God is So Good. That's a chorus. What of Jesus? I think many people have heard that one. Trust and Obey. Burdens are lifted at Calvary. My God is a good God. Yes, he is. And many people know this regardless of what religion they're in, but he's got the whole world in his hand. So that's something that can be encouraging as well. So music is very powerful. So use music. It's a powerful mood changer. Listening to cheerful music and songs can really lift your mood. So I put some ideas down there. In Jamaica, there are lots of folk songs, and other people, wherever you are in the world, you'll have your own cultural songs and things that you like. So you've got Yellowbird, Brown Girl in the Ring in Jamaica. And then you can do a Google or a YouTube search for happy music, and up it will pop. You might like calming or cheerful classical music. Listen to that. There's cheerful gospel songs like Smile by Kirk Franklin. And then there's other cheerful songs like Happy by Pharrell Williams. And, you know, very uplifting. You can dance away to it. So do that sort of thing. Listen to music. It's very powerful. So we've talked about at the very beginning, thoughts, emotions, and physiology, right? I would say that thoughts are so powerful, they affect everything. So your thoughts are very, and we do need to control those thoughts. So I'm going to give you some options right now and some remedies and strategies around unhelpful thinking. You might like to screenshot the next one. A very kind person shared this on LinkedIn, and I just thought it was so lovely, so helpful that I thought I'm going to share it with as many people as I can. And so I'm sharing it with you now. So during this pandemic, people are locked in, and it is worrying, all right? So let's not worry too much. This too will pass. So you could say, oh, I'm stuck at home. I just hate this. A positive way of looking at it, but it's realistic. So it's not pie in the sky, it's realistic. I get to be safe in my home and spend time with my family, or just in my home by myself, but at least I'm safe. Another negative thought, I will get sick. More realistic and more positive. I will self-isolate and wash my hands. This will significantly decrease my chances of getting sick. Another one, I will run out of items at home during self-isolation. Oh dear. A better thought, I have prepared for this and use my eyes. I have everything I need for now. Next one, everything is shutting down. Oh, I'm panicking, I don't like the feel of this. More helpful. The most important places, such as medical centres, pharmacies, grocery stores, etc., are remaining open. So I can get to those if I need to. And then the other one, there is too much uncertainty right now, which we've partly covered. A useful thought can be, while I can't control the situation around me, I can control my actions. So you can do the breathing, the breath work, which I've shown you one, calling your loved ones, staying in touch regularly, getting enough sleep, proper nutrition, prayer, and doing activities that you love to do at home. And all of this will help you during this time. And here are some more positive thoughts. I love thoughts on the internet and so on. And so I do collect them sometimes. So this one is, number one is by myself, I must say. I didn't collect that anywhere, but still. Even if I or someone else close to me, because you have to be realistic, someone may get COVID-19, you may not avoid it. So if you do, it doesn't mean you're going to die. You can get better. We need to look after our health and boost our immunity so that we can fight it better if we do get it. And there are remedies, and I'm going to share a couple as well, if we do get it. This too will pass. What goes down must come up. God is in control. I can trust him to see me through. And this is a quote from Facebook. As I said, I love to collect these things. Always remember that your present situation is not your final destination. The best is yet to come. Love it. And then the will of God won't lead you where the grace of God can't keep you. And I got that from a song. So you might want to take a note of one or two which you like, or just do a screenshot to save these. I'll just give people a few minutes. seconds, I should say, sorry, not minutes. Okay, I'm going to move on now. Right, so this is the remedy I was talking about. You might want to screenshot it or you can start copying, and I'm going to talk about this now. One way to reduce health anxiety is to be prepared. Knowing that you have something that can help or benefit your body should you get the COVID-19 will help reduce your health anxiety. I really believe in being practical. Yes, we're doing all these other things to keep our minds up and happy and upbeat, but let's be practical. Let's have some solutions on the table. Might not work for everyone, but let's just have some anyway, just in case, okay? So the body, as I've mentioned, is a whole system of parts, so that what affects one part often affects others. What benefits one part will benefit others. So the mind and body are closely connected. So these are the health remedies. A caveat, of course, if you notice anything on here you're allergic to, just don't use it. Also, if you're on medication, please consult your doctor. Also, there are people who have low blood pressure. So you can see that says 1 to 3 garlic heads. Garlic reduces blood pressure. You may need to reduce that down or leave it out altogether, but I would say down because it does play in fighting viruses and things. I got this from a trusted source, and her name, she's from the Eden Reform Group, and her name is Michelle Hall, and she has trained in natural health remedies. The information I'm giving you on this slide and on the next slide, I'm sharing with you because they're from trusted sources and from people I know, and it's from people who have used these with COVID-19. So I'm not sharing anything with you that hasn't been used and tried and tested. But as I've said, you need to do your own research. I can't recommend this because I'm not a health professional, but as a on my personal level, I know that this has helped people with COVID-19. This and the next slide. So do take a look and do a screenshot of this remedy if you'd like to have it. So you see the name anti-vib soup. It's antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and antibiotic, all natural from nature. And the reason why I've mentioned the inflammatory, inflammation is often a cause or makes things worse when it comes to disease. Inflammation, a big no-no, you don't want that in your life. When drinking that, you can do a massage. So crush some garlic in olive oil and massage that on the bottom of your feet. That's supposed to really help, or the person who you're helping, their feet. That's supposed to help reduce temperature. You can also help by massaging the chest or the back. Please note, as I've said here, it could burn the skin. If you're finding it burns the skin, stop using it and use an alternative like Vicks Vapor Rub or something similar. I don't know how many of you have heard this, but this is information I'm sharing. Avoid lying on your back in bed if you have COVID-19 because it helps the virus. That makes the virus just take over your lungs. So they say to lie on your tummy or stay upright as much as possible. And one other key thing I have heard is keep moving if you can. Just keep moving. Even if you're limping around your house, keep moving as much as you can. Don't just lie in bed. So there are some other health solutions that I know of, because not everybody wants to or can or has the time to make up and prepare their own, not make up, but prepare their own remedies, okay? So in the cases where you don't have that time, you don't want to, or you can't even, there are easier ready-made alternatives, which are well-researched and which have been used to help people with COVID-19, other illnesses, not just that. So I do know of organic, non-GMO seed-based supplements. They're basically a very dense nutritional food. The seeds contain essential fatty acids and antioxidant properties, which are essential in maintaining good health and immunity. And as I've said, inflammation is not great. It's always there, generally speaking, in the disease process. And these seeds literally reduce inflammation. So they do benefit you if you do have COVID-19 and help in your recovery. I'm not going to say it's a miracle worker. Each person has to do their own research. But I will say that I know people who have benefited, who have had COVID-19 and have used these supplements. It has helped them. But that's my personal talk. It's not my professional talk. The other thing that you can do is research the local herb area in your country. And last but not least, on the health front, vitamin C and zinc lozenges. Zinc in itself, and I did look this up, and it's scientifically out there that zinc helps to protect against the replication, which is the increasing multiplication of the COVID-19 virus. All right, so it's a good idea to get a zinc supplement. If you can have the lozenges, I do understand, I mean, I have used them, I've got to say, that it stops it replicating and going down to your lungs. Now, I haven't had COVID-19, but let me tell you, I even felt a hint of, I do take those supplements, the seed-based ones, and I rub some on my neck and I drink and I'm good to go. There are green ones, which are green foods, superfoods. It all helps you to fight when your body's trying to fight something, make sure you don't get it. And I will show you, depending on the country you're in, you go to your local health food store and see if you can find some zinc lozenges or just a zinc supplement. But try and get any of these if you think it would be helpful, or follow the remedy that I mentioned. So there's lots for you to try. I didn't want to leave you without giving some free helplines. I can only give the helplines in the UK. I'm not sure about other countries, but if you are in another country, do see what your country offers in terms of free support. But here are some free helplines in the UK. You can call if you're worried. All right, so you've got Anxiety UK, you've got the Samaritans, and you've got Young Minds, because young people are really worried at the moment. So there you are. And for more information, because this list is not exhaustive, you can do more research and find more. So you can go onto the NHS website to get more information. So it is, please note, it's nhs.uk. It's not nhs.co.uk, which is unusual, but it happens to be nhs.uk. So please note that. All right.